So yesterday we talked about superposition theorem. So next is Thevenin's theorem. Usually I take Thevenin's and Norton's theorem together. That's why I had initially written Thevenin's and Norton. But since we are using dependent sources and to have more practice, I'll take Thevenin's theorem only. So tomorrow we'll cover Norton's theorem. So let's see the steps for independent sources, because there is a slight difference in the method for dependent sources. In the left part I am writing for independent sources. So what do you do if a network is given to us? So let's say it is a general network and we have to find resistance through this current flowing through this arrows. Okay, so this is then called as our load resistor, because we have to find the current through this arrows. So it becomes RL. Okay, so what we do is we somehow reduce this network to an equivalent voltage source in series with a resistance, and we keep the RL same. So what is the main thing here? We don't touch RL till the end. So we have to find VTH and we have to find RTH. So how to find this VTH and RTH, that we'll see in the numericals itself. So for RTH, what we do? We short voltage sources and open current sources. For VTH, we remove RL and replace with open circuit there. So this is what we do. So we have already done this, so let's not go into the details. So let's see what is the difference in dependent sources. Okay, so what we do for dependent sources? Again we have the same network, but instead we have a dependent source also here. So we find the VTH in the same way. So VTH is same procedure. For RTH, what we use is VTH upon IN. So how to find this IN? So for IN, replace load with short circuit. So this is the difference. Something like Norton's theorem in independent sources. And for formula is RTH is VTH upon IN. So it is best understood with the help of an example. So let's see this. So first we'll do a simple example using Thevenin's theorem and independent sources. So what we do is to find the current through 2 ohms resistor. So where is the 2 ohms resistor? That is the first thing we do. So this is the 2 ohms resistor. So we have to find current through it. So this is what? So this becomes our RL. So RL equal to 2 ohms, and we don't touch this resistor. That is, we keep it till the end. So even if we have something in series with it, we don't add them in series. So first we will find VTH. So what we do? So what we do for VTH, remove RL and replace with open circuit. So this is what Thevenin has said. So we use that procedure. So rest all is same. So remove RL, replace with open circuit. So it will look somewhat like this. Right? 5 ohms, 20 volts, 10 ohms, 40 volts. And here we have to find VTH, right, between these terminals. So I have taken this as plus and this is minus. If you want, you can take this as plus and this as minus. Other way around, it is fine. This is fine. Okay. So no current will flow here. So current will flow only in this loop, right? So we can directly find the total current by Ohm's law. So 40 minus 20. So I is 40 minus 20 upon 5 plus 10. So therefore I equal to 20 upon 15. So let's use calci. 20 divided by 15 is 1.333 amperes, and it is in clockwise direction, right? So we have to find VTH equation. So in the exam you will write the steps by Ohm's law, so and so. For VTH you will writing equation for VTH. This is important. So let's start from here. We are writing KVL equation. So I'll write this with green pen. So let's start from here. We'll go like this, and we have to use VTH, so we'll have to use that loop. So we'll go like this path. I'll use a green pen to highlight that. So this path we are using. If you want, you can take this path also. You will get the same answer. You take any which path, but you should pass through VTH. So from here, plus 40 minus 5i minus 20 minus VTH plus 10 equal to 0. Fine. So therefore, VTH, I'll take it here. So it is 40 minus 5i minus 20 plus 10. I we know already, it is 4 by 3 to be exact. So 40 minus 5 into 1.333 minus 20 plus 10. So VTH is 23.335 volts. Right. Next, what we have to do? Find RTH. So what do we do for RTH? We replace all the voltage and current sources by short and open circuit respectively. So RTH. So again we remove the load and replace it with short circuit then. So this is shorted, 40 volts is shorted, this is shorted, this is 10 ohms, this is where we find the VTH, sorry RTH. So this is my RTH, right? So what we see, let me use a red pen. So values are 5 ohms and 10 ohms. So if you see, it is nothing but the resistance at these 2 points. That is, we will connect the multimeter here. So if you see, these 2 points are connected to a common point, these other terminals are connected to a common point. So RTH is what? 10 parallel with 5. So what is it? 10 inverse plus 5 inverse inverse. So 10 by 3 is 3.333 ohms. So what is the next step? So first step, second step, and finally we have the third step. So next we find Thevenin's equivalent network. So Thevenin's equivalent network, as we saw at the start of the lecture, is VTH, RTH and RL. So VTH equal to, what was VTH? 23.335 volts. 23.335 volts. What is RTH? 3.333 ohms. 3.333 ohms. And RL is 2 ohms. We have to find current through 2 ohms. So let's say it is IL. So what is the formula? IL will be by Ohm's law, VTH upon RTH plus RL. So therefore, IL equal to 23.335 divided by 3.333 plus 2. So IL is 4.3756 amperes going downwards. So this is our required current. So this is the way we solve sums on Thevenin's theorem for independent sources. Okay. So let's use dependent sources now. So obtain Thevenin's equivalent network at A and B. So what is the difference here? There is a dependent source and we don't have to find current or voltage. We have to find what? Thevenin's equivalent source network. So means we have to just draw this network and stop between A and B. Instead of RL, we have open circuit A and B. So let's solve this. So first is what? Again VTH. So VTH, we remove the load, there is no load here, it is already open, so we'll find VTH here. So let me redraw the diagram. This is A, B, let's take plus minus in this way, and this is VTH. This is 2I1, this is not I, this is I1. Sorry, this is I, this is I. So this is 2I, this is I, 4 ohms, 8 volts. Okay. So what is the first thing we do? We write this I terms, right? That is the dependent variable or control variable equation. Right? So let's see how to do this. So let's take the clockwise current as I1. So what you see from the network, I can say I equal to I1. This is our first equation for dependent source. So you'll have one extra equation. If there are two variables of dependent sources, we will have two extra equations. So then we apply KVL as shown. I'll read. So as shown means I will show the path. So this is the path I am using. So you can use this way also. So it is 8 minus 4i minus VTH equal to 0. Right? So therefore VTH equal to 8 minus 4i. So therefore VTH equal to 8 minus 4 I1. So what do you have to find? We just have to find I1. So how to find I1? Oh, sorry, I missed. Before doing this, we can find the value of I1. If we apply KVL to this loop, what do we get? 8 minus 4i. Sorry. So this is a simple sum based on dependent sources. Let's start with the simple sum. So you see there is a dependent source. So what is our first step? First step, we write the equation for dependent source with respect to the control variable or dependent variable also. It is called as. So this is the dependent variable I, right? So if you see, first we have to find what VTH. We have to draw a new diagram. I am showing here only. So this is my VTH, right? So no current is going to pass here. This is an open loop. So this current will go like this only. So can I say I is equal to minus 2i? Why minus? Because both are in opposite directions. So from network I equal to minus 2i. So what you get? Therefore 3i equal to 0. Therefore I equal to 0. This is our first equation corresponding to the control variable. So what we can do? What we have to find? VTH. So we can apply KVL to the outermost thing. I am not writing this because this is ground and there is no component there. So 8 minus 4i minus VTH equal to 0. I is 0. So what will get? VTH as 8 volts. Right? Next, what we have to find? RTH. So draw the same network. Instead of VTH, we'll write what? RTH. So here we have RTH in this direction. Remember, I have not removed the dependent source. We keep the dependent source. So 4 ohms, 8 volts. Right? So for this RTH, what we do? We write RTH equal to VTH upon IN. So we require IN. So no need to draw this diagram in the exam. I showed it for your purpose. So I'll redraw it again. So 8 volts, 4 ohms, 2i. This is what? IN between A, B. This is 2i. This is I. Right? So again, how can we solve this? Take this current I1, this current I2. So if you see, there is a current source in between two meshes. So this is an equation of super mesh. This is the sum of super mesh. Right? So what I can write? Same direction. So I2 minus I1. I am not writing apply KVL mesh 1 and 2 form super mesh. That is expected. Now you understand it correctly how to write. So I2 minus I1 is 2i. Right? And before this, what we do? We write the control variable wala equation. So what will it be? It will be I is equal to I1. So I equal to I1. So I can write I1. So therefore I2 minus I1 equal to 2I1. So therefore minus 3I1, right? So minus 3I1 plus I2 equal to 0. This was equation 1 corresponding to dependent variable. This is equation 2. So then for super mesh, what we do? We apply KVL to outermost mesh. So this is 8 volts. So 8 minus 4 I1. That's it. Equal to 0. So therefore from here we get I1 equal to 2 amperes. Therefore from 2 minus 6 plus I2 equal to 0. So therefore I2 equal to 6 amperes. Both are clockwise. Right? And what is IN? IN is nothing but I2. So therefore IN equal to 6 amperes clockwise. So what is RTH? It is VTH upon IN. So therefore RTH equal to 8 by 6. So therefore RTH equal to 4 by 3. So 1.333 ohms. So there was what Thevenin's equivalent circuit network. So VTH equal to 8 volts. RTH equal to 1.333 ohms. RTH, then between the networks A and B. So this is our final answer. So you can even square it, not an issue. So this is our final answer. So next, let's solve one more sum. Determine current in 16 ohms resistor. So first locate it, it is here. So if we see there is a dependent source. So 0.8 ix, so ix should be there somewhere. So ix is here. So first what we do, write equation for ix. Right? So again the exam, again you will draw this network. I am not drawing again. So let's assume two mesh currents. We have to use Thevenin's theorem, right? So first write VTH. Then we redraw the network corresponding to this 60 ohms. Sorry, 16 ohms. So 40 volts, 10 ohms, 0.8 ix, 6 ohms, and this is what now short open because we are finding VTH here. So if you see what is happening to ix, it is getting opened. So what is our first equation for dependent source? It is ix equal to 0. Right? Next, what we have to do? We are trying to find VTH. So this is the current flowing here. Let's say I. Right? So I can say from the network, this I is nothing but 0.8 ix. So I equal to 0.8 ix. But ix is what? 0. So therefore I equal to 0. Right? So then what I have to do? I have to find VTH. So I have to take a equation in which take a path in which VTH comes. So this is the path. So 40 minus 10i minus 6 into 0. Why 6 into 0? This is open, so no current. So R into I or I into R. So 6 into 0 minus VTH equal to 0. Again I is 0, so what is VTH? 40 volts. VTH equal to 40 volts. Next what we find? RTH. So for RTH we remove this and keep a short over there. And this is 40 volts, 10 ohms, dependent source is not removed, 0.8 ix, 6 ohms, this is replaced by short circuit. What is it? IN. Anything else is remaining? No, and it is nothing but Ix also. So what we say? We have to solve this. So again this is I1, this is, let's take it as I2. So from here we have to first write dependent variable equation. So Ix equal to I2. We'll take IN at last. So again it is a super mesh equation. So I1 minus I2 equal to 0.8 Ix, and Ix is I2. So when it comes here, so I1 minus 1.8 I2 equal to 0. Equation number 2, this is 1. So then what we write? We write the outermost thing, KVL equation. So what is it? So 40 minus 10 I1 minus 6 I2 equal to 0. So therefore 10 I1 plus 6 I2 equal to 40. Right, so this is equation number 3. Then what will write? Solving 3 and 4, we will get I1 equal to, and I2 will be what? In also equal to. So 1 minus 1.8, 0. 1 minus 1.8, 0. Then 10, 6, 6, what happened? 6, 40. So I1 is 3 amperes, I2 is 1.6667 amperes. Both are positive, so clockwise. Right, so this is what we require. So what will be RTH? VTH upon IN. VTH is 40. So 40 divided by 1.667. So it is 24 ohms. 24 ohms. So what is the question? We have got RTH, we have got VTH. What is the question? Determine current in 16 ohms. So this is my VTH of, what is it? 40 volts. RTH is 24 ohms. This is 16 ohms. So what is IL? VTH upon RTH plus RL. You have to write in this way: VTH equal to RTH equal to RL equal to. So just substitute this: 40 divided by 24 plus 16. So it is nothing but 1 ampere. So IL equal to 1 ampere going downwards. Okay. So this is the way we have to solve sums on Thevenin's theorem. And very important thing, this RTH can also come as negatives. So RTH value can be negative also. In the sense I didn't get negative coincidentally, but it can be negative also. Okay. So solve some more sums. I have already shared one book with you. So you can take that book and solve some extra sums. So before that you can just solve these sums, and then for extra practice solve extra sums. And next week we will have an assignment. In fact, a tutorial. So that tutorial will be of 20 marks. So make sure you solve that. Thank you.